In late September 2025, at Labour's annual conference in Liverpool, Prime Minister Keir Starmer launched a forceful, frontal political attack against Nigel Farage and his party. Reform UK, he framed the upcoming electoral contest as a battle for the soul of the country, a fight between two competing visions: renewal, inclusion, decency on one side, and grievance, division, and pessimism on the other. The Guardian Plus for Financial Times Plus for Starmer delivered a speech that was heavy on rhetoric and moral framing, with relatively few major new policy announcements. But it was strategic, intended to shift the political battleground from Labour versus Conservatives to Labour versus Reform, reframing reform as the principal threat. AP News Plus for Financial Times Plus for Reuters Plus for below is a detailed breakdown of what Starmer said, how Farage and others responded, the stakes of this confrontation, and what to watch going forward. Starmer's speech, key themes and accusations. No more lectures rejecting Farage's moral authority. Of Starmer's more pointed lines was that he would take no more lectures from Nigel Farage. He suggested that Farage had comported himself as a kind of moral commentator, but now Starmer was pushing back. Sky News in that vein. Starmer directly questioned whether Farage genuinely loves our country. He doesn't like Britain, doesn't believe in Britain. He wants you to doubt it just as much as he does. So he resorts to grievance. Sky News, when was the last time you heard Nigel Farage say anything positive about Britain's future? The Standard +2 Sky News +2 Starmer's rhetorical device was to present Farage not merely as a political rival, but as a corrosive voice, someone who erodes faith in the country rather than builds it. Financial Times Plus for Sky News Plus for the Standard Plus for its battle for Britain's identity and unity. Starmer framed this not as a normal election speech, but as a moral and existential moment. He declared that the next 4 years would be a fight for the soul of our country. Reuters +3, Sky News +3, AP News +3. He offered contrasts to define the battle: decency or division, renewal or decline of Britain, proud of its values, in control of its future, versus one that succumbs to grievance politics. Reuters +4, Sky News plus for The Guardian +4. He also sought to reclaim the symbolism of British patriotism, flags, and national identity from the right-wing narrative, arguing that true patriotism must be inclusive, respectful, and united. Financial Times +2, Financial Times +2, accusations of division and racism accused Farage of encouraging division through anti-immigration discourse, characterizing it as a politics of grievance. Sky News Plus for AP News Plus for Financial Times Plus for he specifically identified reforms proposals on deportation, indefinite leave, and mass migration as crossing moral lines, even calling some of them racist. Sky News Plus for AP News Plus for Financial Times Plus for Starmer warned that if flags and national symbols become instruments of intimidation, for example, graffiti telling a Chinese shop owner to go home, then that is not pride but racism. The Independent +2, Financial Times +2. Thus, his method was not only to challenge Farage's proposals, but to contest the moral framing. He attempted to place reform's agenda beyond the bounds of acceptable patriotism. Policy signals, new directions, tweaks, and symbolic shifts. While much of the speech was rhetorical, Starmer did signal some policy orientations and changes. He announced NHS Online, a virtual hospital or digital health initiative to allow patients to remotely access specialist advice, manage prescriptions, and book scans, tests via the NHS app. AP News Plus for Sky News Plus for the Standard +4. He said that Labour would drop the Blur-era target of 50% of young people going to university, replacing it with aiming for 2/3, either entering university or gold standard apprenticeships. By 2040, AP News Plus for Sky News Plus for the Standard +4 on the economy. He pushed back against promises of quick fixes, tax cuts that magically pay for themselves, or unfunded giveaways, implicitly attacking some of reform's fiscal claims. Wall Street Journal +3, Sky News +3, Financial Times +3 on immigration and border control. Starmer reiterated his desire to exercise control, promising tougher enforcement. But without fully adopting reform's radical proposals, he has earlier pledged reduced immigration but resisted hard numeric caps. Reuters +4, Wikipedia +4. But many critics observed that the speech was heavy on symbolism and narrative rather than bold structural reforms. The Guardian +2, Financial Times +2, an appeal for party unity and resolve, also used the moment to call on his party to stop internal disputes, navel-gazing, and unite behind a clear opposition to reform. Reuters +2, Financial Times +2. He acknowledged that the path ahead would require difficult choices and would not always be comfortable, but insisted that the reward is a new country, a fairer country, a land of dignity and respect. The Guardian +3, Sky News +3, Financial Times +3, Farage, Reform UK response and broader reactions. Farage's counterattack. Nigel Farage responded quickly, accusing Starmer of desperation and claiming that the Prime Minister was unfit to be Prime Minister. Financial Times +3, Sky News +3, The Independent +3. In a video message, Farage said, "I used to think the Prime Minister was a decent man. We might disagree, but I thought he was profoundly decent. I am completely shocked at his behavior." Sky News. Farage sought to cast Starmer's speech as a last-ditch gamble born of weakness rather than strength. Sky News +2, The Guardian +2. He also accused Starmer of endangering reform campaigners, a claim intended to turn the rhetorical heat back. The Guardian +1 overall. Farage's reaction was defensive and rhetorical. He didn't concede ground but responded with counter-narratives of his own, accusing Starmer of inciting radical lefts, of being hypocritical, and of projecting fear. The Guardian +2, Financial Times +2, Inside Labour. Mixed views and internal dissent within Labour. Reactions were mixed. Some welcomed a bold reorientation toward fighting reform. Others worried about adopting reforms, style of rhetoric, or softening Labour's own commitments. Some critics accused Starmer's immigration language, especially phrases like "island of strangers," of echoing Enoch Powell's divisive rhetoric. Wikipedia +3, Wikipedia +3, Wikipedia +3. LABOUR MPs. Diane Abbott and Nadia Whittamy criticized the speech as racist or scaremongering. Wikipedia. Others called for more focus on investment, inclusion, and community building, instead of competing over rhetoric on immigration. Wikipedia +1. Some observers warned that Labour might lose ideological identity by echoing reform's hard edges rather than offering a distinct progressive alternative. The Guardian +1. Thus, while Starmer sought unity, there are real fault lines over tone, priorities, and the risk of being pulled rightward. Media and political analysts. Opportunity or gamble? Media and political analysts have cast Starmer's repositioning as ambitious, risky, and perhaps necessary. Some see the move as essential. Reform is surging in polls, and Labour needs to neutralize it. The Guardian +3, Reuters +3, Financial Times +3. Others argue that reframing the main battle as Labour versus reform could backfire if Labour is seen chasing the populist narrative, rather than defining its own. The Guardian +2, Financial Times +2. Critics note that few new concrete policies were introduced, meaning voters may judge by tone more than substance. The Guardian +1. Some warn that Starmer is under pressure. His approval ratings have dropped. Internal dissent is bubbling, and reform's momentum is strong. Wall Street Journal +2, Reuters +2. In some, analysts view this as a high-stakes pivot. Starmer is attempting to seize control of the political narrative, but whether he can match the rhetoric with delivery remains uncertain. Stakes and strategic implications. Why Labour is escalating against Reform UK's rise. In recent polling, Reform is challenging both the Conservatives and Labour in voter support. Starmer sees the threat as existential, that Reform could become the dominant opposition or even a governing force. Wall Street Journal +for Reuters +for Financial Times +for changing the fight. Until now, Labour's framing was more traditional Labour versus Conservative. By elevating Reform as the rival, Starmer tries to redefine the political fault line in this cycle. Financial Times +3, The Guardian +3, AP News +3. Moral posture and legitimacy. Starmer is attempting to reassert Labour as the moral voice of inclusion, unity, and decency, pushing back against Farage's narrative of grievance and division. The Guardian +for Financial Times +for AP News +for preemptive appeal to swing voters. The rhetoric targets those who may be unsettled or wavering. A patriotic but moderate voter base concerned about national identity, law and order, and social cohesion. Starmer wants to peel off those voters from Reform. Financial Times +3, Financial Times +3, AP News +3. Risks encounters policy gap. If the government cannot deliver substantive policy, voters may see this as empty rhetoric. The Guardian +2, Financial Times +2. Identity drift. Labour risks being seen as echoing Reform rather than offering an alternative, especially on immigration and national identity. Financial Times +3, The Guardian +3, Wikipedia +3. Internal dissent. Some within Labour worry that the tone and content alienate progressive members. minority communities, or those who fear the slide to the right. Wikipedia plus to The Guardian plus to Farage's resilience. Farage may exploit any missteps, present himself as the consistent outsider voice, and exploit class or regional discontent. What Starmer must demonstrate to survive this pivot: translate rhetoric into concrete, deliverable policies, especially on immigration, public services, and inequality. Maintain internal coherence, preventing factions within Labour from undermining the narrative. Sustain public trust, not overpromise, and acknowledge trade-offs and challenges. Keep the narrative focused, refusing to let the dialogue slip into trivial warfare or personality attacks. Demonstrate leadership, control leaks, manage messaging discipline, and show that Labour is confidently steering the issue. What to watch going forward as this political duel evolves. Here are key fault lines and signposts your video audience can look out for. Polling shifts. Watch for whether reform continues to lead or whether Labour stanch the bleed. Concrete reforms and legislation. Will Starmer follow up with bills or white papers on immigration, digital identity, border control, or the NHS reforms he sketched? Reform UK's policy clarity. Farage must now go from accusation to offering credible governance proposals, and those will be tested. Media framing and narrative battlegrounds. Who defines patriotism, national identity, and British values in public discourse? Internal Labour tensions. Will dissenting voices in his party push back, especially around immigration or tone? Campaign strategy and early elections. Will Labour adopt more aggressive campaigning? Will there be by-elections, regional elections, or leadership challenges? Economic performance and public sentiment. Ultimately, public mood on cost of living, health services, inflation, those will influence whether Starmer's narrative sticks.